What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I'm going to try to get through this piece without tearing up. A little bit of a rant, incoherent rant, so like usual. But it's not necessarily the most hockey-related piece, but you look back, we're coming up on 2 years on the Boston Marathon bombings, and you guys know I'm a Bostonian through and through. And with the Tsarnaev charges coming out, or being found guilty on all 30 charges coming out today. I'd be remiss not to talk about that day 2 years ago. It's tough for me to talk about it without crying, so try not to make fun of me in the comment section. And the marathon bombings were the only times I started the power play where I just couldn't do it. Couldn't come on and talk hockey, and I think that's how much of an effect they had on me. I mean, I've had deaths in my family, friends die. I've had my voice sound like, groggy, froggy, like it does now. And, I've always, come on. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I had to take a few days away. And I remember right where I was when I found out that something had happened. Sitting in class, it was my junior year of college down in Tampa. I had about a week to go before I was going home back to Boston for the summer, and scrolling through Twitter on my phone like I did, like pretty much every other class. And someone tweeted, who was running a marathon, everyone's okay if you're just to throw out something like that. I was like, okay, who gives a shit? And then you scroll through, it's like explosions, and I just sat there in class for the last 45 minutes and just stared off. Got back to my dorm, turned on, either Fox or CNN, wherever. And there's Boylston Street. Bombs going off. And that's just, bad things are supposed to happen other places. They're not supposed to happen in Boston. And 1,500 miles from home, couldn't get in touch with anyone for a couple of hours, and then got in touch with my dad 3 or 4 hours later, and he could tell I was scared. And he goes, we're gonna get the guys that did this, right? So, he goes, no, we're gonna find them. We get the best police force, best military, best law enforcement. We're gonna get these assholes. And like, all right. And I sat in my room and cried that whole night. Boston was under attack, and I was far away. And every time they show that picture of mine and Richard at the Bruins game, a couple of weeks before the bombing, that 8-year-old kid was any one of us, any kid from Boston, myself at that age, my little cousins, in so many ways, like the perfect representative of all of us. And, to see him lose his life before it really ever had a chance to get started, it's tough. But the next morning, everyone knew us from Boston. I was kind of trying to avoid talking about it. But I made a pledge to myself. I was like, I get 10 days left before I go back. Every day I left my room, made sure I had like a Bruins or Red Sox or Patriots hat, T-shirt, whatever. Just so even those people that didn't know, knew. Like, I'm not going to hide where I'm from because I'm afraid to talk about it. I'm just going to, be who I am and, show my love and support of my hometown that's, under attack. A couple, goes by, the Bruins have the game against the Sabres for the national anthem. You all saw that. That was still tugs at the heartstrings for me, and another thing that still makes me cry like a baby. But went home. The bombings were April 15th. I probably went home April 23rd, give or take, right? And the first day I was home, I went to the finish line, and just cried like a baby instantly. And there were two other people there crying, and we all kind of embraced each other. And I came to understand, Boston Strong isn't just a hashtag or, something you post on Facebook. You come together when times are tough. And at no point was that more apparent than right then and there. And, I think you look at the marathon bombings and what happened afterwards, the way everyone rallied around the Bruins at first, going to the Stanley Cup final, a little bit of a, the game against the Leafs in Game 7, Toronto's last shining moment of glory. And then, the Red Sox 6 months later winning the World Series for Boston. And, the way sports kind of acted as an outlet. And through all that, I decided it was time to come home. When I was done, when I graduated, I'm coming home. And that's why I'm here. And, the sense of community and, just love for one another. It's right then, it was definitely deeply affected me. And, I think about it a lot. What happened that day and how it changed so many people's lives. Obviously, the victims, the dead, those that had life-altering injuries, but the way that some of us looked at it changed our perspectives on everything. And, if there's a silver lining of a tragedy like this, it's the way people come together through tough times. And the good in people is apparent. And, that's what Boston Strong is all about. And I'm glad to, proud to be where I'm from and where I've been able to come back to, not a lot of places you can come home to. Say you can't come home again. And I've done that, and I'm proud of, just that. So a little bit of a 7-minute tangent talking about, but it's definitely something that deeply affects me and will always be something I carry with me the rest of my life. It's something I will never be able to talk about without getting choked up. So you guys got to see me cry, so you're in good shape. That's my episode of the Power Play with CJ. Bought Boston Strong 2 years later. Stay tuned for episodes of the season and beyond. Later, guys.